Well, if we win the lottery.
No, we're still good.
Really? You're not going to open a recording studio?
No. If we win the lottery, I would keep everything exactly the way that it is. Well, in terms of the equipment, maybe I get a new computer, but no, everything's working just fine, so there's no point. Why fix what ain't broke?
Wow.
Why?
You won the lottery. You can buy a radio station.
That's how I would do podcasting from now on. I would go buy a radio station and kick the on-air DJ off the air for about an hour just so I could record my podcast.
And you can be on Sirius.
January 9th, 2016. Welcome to Faces and Aces, Las Vegas, a podcast where we share great Vegas stories and discuss tips and tricks on how to make your next Vegas trip a better experience. This week we have on Special Operative Jax from Adventure Combat Ops. She is a Bronze Star recipient, and it is our honor to have her on our show. Our website is facesandaceslv.com. You can find us over at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at facesandaceslv. Our phone number is 702-381-3657. Welcome to Faces and Aces, Las Vegas. My name is Chris, and sitting in for Katie and Aaron, I'm joined once again by my wonderful wife, Jenny. Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm not a man, but I'm doing well.
I meant, hey, ma'am. Hey, ma'am, how
I
you
don't think
doing?
I want to be a ma'am either, but that's better.
Milady. So we were having a conversation off mic about the Powerball lottery and the huge $800 million jackpot going on. The drawing is tonight, and you bought tickets for us. Is that right?
Well, I bought a ticket. I don't know if it's for us yet.
50-50 California split. We got married in California. Half of it's mine.
Well, you don't know where the ticket is right now.
Oh, well, I could find it.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into that, I just want to revisit one of the news stories that we talked about last week, which is the Miss Universe pageant and the huge fiasco that happened with Steve Harvey and Miss Colombia and Miss Philippines. And this is what I predicted when it happened. Miss Colombia has been everywhere. She has opportunities being just thrown at her because of the notoriety that she got from Steve Harvey messing up the announcement.
So sometimes, even though it was embarrassing at the moment, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to her.
Yeah. So just some of the fallout from the whole Miss Universe fiasco. Since losing her crown on worldwide TV, Miss Colombia was invited to be on Pitbull's New Year's Eve special on Fox, where she made a guest appearance. She's been being currently courted by Burger King. They want to use her in a commercial for the kids' meal where she gets to keep her crown.
That's pretty good.
Right? Those little paper crowns that they give out at Burger King, she gets to keep that.
I like that. I like the creative thinking there in terms of tying into the pageant.
Right. And then also she is in talks with Corona and also Victoria's Secret. The other night on the People's Choice Awards, they did a little funny sketch where they gave Tom Lennon a People's Choice Award for his involvement in the industry. Someone who's hardly recognized, and he came out and he picked up his People's Choice Award, and then Jane Lynch came back out on stage and said, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake. The actual winner is Miss Colombia." And she came out on stage and picked up the trophy from Tom Lennon. And the latest piece of news that I heard this morning, or that I read this morning, is now she is going to appear on the Steve Harvey TV show. She's booked to appear on somewhere within the week of January 19th. So like I said before, don't cry for her for not winning the crown, because it's probably the best thing that's happened to her. I feel bad for Miss Philippines now, because I haven't seen her anywhere. Like, is she getting endorsement deals? Is she getting opportunities to show up on all these different shows? I haven't seen it.
I feel like I never hear about any pageant winner unless there's some kind of scandal about, like Vanessa Williams and she actually did Playboy.
Oh, right. And pictures of Miss Nevada showing up, making out with another girl.
Yeah, otherwise you just never hear about them. So I don't know what the real win is. Which is, similar to reality shows. Usually whoever wins the reality show, like America's Top Model or The Voice, they're forgotten.
Oh, I couldn't name one winner of The Voice, but I could probably name at least 5 winners of American Idol.
I bet you can name five winners of America's Top Model.
No, I can't. Actually, I don't think I could. I can name a couple of contestants of America's Top Model, but I don't think I can name the winners.
I think you can name at least one.
Jasleen.
No, she didn't. Did she win?
I don't know.
Oh, but you can name the first winner.
Adrian Curry.
See?
Okay.
Well, I will say this.
Yeah.
So in the Miss Universe situation, we're saying getting first runner up is better than winning.
Yeah. In this case,
I will not apply that rule to the lottery.
Oh, well, second place winner at the lottery is not too shabby either.
But it sure ain't at 800 million.
Oh, man. So this weekend is the largest lottery jackpot in history, $800 million. And the other day you came up to me and said, hey, we should go buy a lottery ticket. In which, in general, I'm not a big fan of playing any kind of lottery. The reason being is the odds are terrible. Because when you go play a game in Vegas, the reason why people like to play blackjack so much is because the odds are fairly close to 50-50. The odds in winning this particular lottery, the $800 million lottery, is 1 in 292,201,338.
But the way I see it is if you don't buy a ticket, then of course you can't win. You're not even part of those odds.
Well, you know what cracks me up are the people who don't play the lottery, and then when it gets to $500, $600, $700 million, then they jump in because it's like, nah, 300 million isn't enough.
Well, I hate to say it, but we're those people. 800 million? All right, I'll get up and go to the store to pick up a lottery ticket.
Well, on the way out to work, you did say to me, I think I might pick up a lottery ticket today. And you said, oh, sure. Okay, it'll be fun.
So at work, we did a white elephant exchange, and my white elephant gift was scratchers.
Oh, that's right. You bought how many $20 worth of scratchers?
$20 worth of scratchers.
Okay.
And so the person who picked that gift just reported back to me.
Mm-hmm.
They won $15 straight out, and they got 1 or 2 new scratchers.
Oh, nice. Okay. Because we joked around saying we should keep the scratchers, take them over to the liquor store, and scan the barcode to see if any of them are winners. And if they were winners, keep them for ourselves.
But we did not do that.
No.
Because I would have actually been happy to see somebody win a decent amount of money.
Yeah, I don't know if people know that you can do that. You don't have to scratch off the silver foil to see what the numbers are. You could just buy lottery tickets, take it over to the little red barcode scanner, scan each ticket, and it'll tell you if it's a winner or not. So
that just takes away the whole fun.
Well, it takes away the whole fun. And also, if you're giving them as a gift, it's a real dick move.
But you just let everybody know that's what they could do.
Well, people are going to have to police themselves. So getting back to the Powerball lottery, you bought $5 worth of tickets for us.
I bought $5 worth of tickets.
For
the
us.
For us part is debatable.
For us. California stayed 50-50. We've been over this before.
Oh, wait. I bought $10 worth of tickets. I bought 5 tickets.
Because
they're $2, $2 a piece.
Okay. So the current jackpot is at $800 million. And if you, I was going to say, if you want to take cash value, I mean, if we want to take cash value when we win this $800 million, it's $496 million is what we'll walk away with. Do you have any plans for that money?
I don't have an answer.
Upgrade your husband? Go get yourself a nice trophy husband?
You know, I have started to debate in my mind the smarter choice between the lump sum and the annual payout over 30 years, because at our age, we don't know if we'll see those final payouts.
It's a pretty good incentive to keep going, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, we'll be well taken care of.
Yeah.
So in addition to the 5 tickets that I bought, I also have in my hand 75 tickets.
Wait, what?
Well, they're not all mine. I didn't spend, $150
$150
on tickets.
Going to throw down. Wait a minute. What are you doing?
At work, we decided to pool our money together. And there's a lot of people at work who have never, like we just talked about, they've never played the lottery. Mm-hmm. But the idea of throwing in $10 and having 75 chances to win, well, who doesn't like those odds?
Oh, okay, cool. So you guys did the office pool lottery ticket buy.
We did. And it was funny because we started to debate the whole, how do we split up this money? What do we do for those 2 people who decided they didn't want in on the pool? They'll be there Monday morning. We won't. And everyone started to share their dream of what they would do with the money.
Yeah.
So one person was having a debate about, would you just continue to live a comfortable life here in California, or would you take it somewhere else? Another person, he already decided he's buying, I couldn't even name for you the particular car that he's had his eye on. And he and his dog are jumping in there, and that's it. The rest of their life, they'll just be driving around aimlessly.
Oh, but you don't want to be that guy or gal who wins the lottery and then is broke.
So I joked with them. I said, because he started naming off all the things he was going to buy. And I said, you're going to be that lottery winner who uses up his money in 5 years. And he responded, 5 years? It won't take me that long.
Because I was curious for the podcast, I looked up some of the stories. Man, those are sad stories. I thought it would be kind of fun to read a couple of them on the show. Too sad. Too depressing, because these people win huge amounts of money. And then the biggest or the most common thing that they do is they just waste it on houses, cars, drugs, parties.
So it makes sense to do the annual payout, because then you can't blow all your money in 5 years. So that's kind of a smarter decision in terms of ensuring that you don't...
Well, as opposed to lump sum, you go with the annual payout, so that way you don't blow your entire wad in 5 years and you're back to where you started.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to go. I think if you're a fairly young person, but then again, tomorrow is never guaranteed to anyone. You could take the annual payout over 40 years and you could get hit by a bus. So you're always taking that gamble too. If you get the lump sum right away, then you could do as you like.
Yeah, and that was another sad part of the stories that I read, was you were highly encouraged, if you won this jackpot, to not publicly release who you are and to do it anonymously. Because, I mean, they just had the saddest stories about people who get murdered and burglarized and are constantly, I mean, you might as well live like the president with security detail.
Yeah. Okay, so I know this is coming a little bit late because the drawing is later on this evening, but for the next time you want to play the Powerball lottery, here are some winning tips that came from Richard Lustig. This is a guy who wrote a book on how to win the lottery because he's won several times. So these are some winning tips from Richard. His first tip is don't use quick pick numbers.
Really?
He says certain numbers come up more than others. And so find out what those numbers are and use different combinations of those numbers and create a set of numbers.
Well, that is true. But
this is a guy who won several lotteries.
However, I read another article that said if you play often and you play certain numbers, then yes, you should not stray from that strategy. But if you're one of these people who only jumps in when the jackpot is of a significant value, just do the quick picks. Because 70% of the winners who have won did the quick picks.
Exactly. Which brings us to his second point. Don't change the numbers. If you have a set of numbers, constantly play those numbers. And I'll combine this with his fourth tip, play consistently. So if you have a set of numbers that you play those numbers every time there's a drawing. Don't miss one. Another good tip that he has is pick beyond birthdays, because you're basically limiting yourself to a number range of 1 to 31 when the actual lottery numbers go all the way up to 69. So try not to pick birthdays, or if you do, just a couple, and then find some other numbers. And his last tip that he has is know your limits. Don't use the rent money to go play the lottery. Set aside $5, $10, $20 a week to play. That's all. Just don't go crazy with it.
You just reminded me of another funny story with regards to numbers.
Yeah.
So the way the office pool, the idea came up is I was out to lunch with a coworker, and we were at a Thai restaurant, but they give you Chinese fortune cookies at the end of the meal. So she opened up her cookie and she said, here's our numbers. We're going to play these numbers. But then her fortune was, you should get another cookie. So we decided those are not the right numbers.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I like fortune cookies with a sense of humor.
I think mine was something to the extent of don't put off tomorrow what you can do today, which was buy a lottery ticket.
It's meant to be.
And speaking of books with tips on how to win from people who've won multiple times, does J-Lo's mother have a book?
I know, right?
Because apparently she has won the slot machine jackpot numerous times.
2 or 3 times she's won the full out, Yeah, she just sits in Atlantic City with her daughter's money and just plays nickel slots. And apparently this lady has won minimum 2 full jackpots on these slot machines.
Yeah, so I'm going to be buying J-Lo's mother's, Mrs. Lowe's, book on how to win slots.
Can I be part of her entourage, her crew? Okay, so before we get into our interview with Jax and Adventure Combat Ops, one of the things that I wanted to bring up is the Mr. BS show. I want to throw a shout out to them and say thank you for having me on last week. I went on to their show to talk a little bit about Star Wars The Force Awakens. And this being a Vegas podcast, I don't really get to talk about geek nerd stuff here. So they were really kind to invite me on so I could get it all out over on their show. Their show is an entertaining podcast. 2 guys hanging out, having fun with each other, making jokes, cracking each other up. It's an awesome show if you would like to go check it out. Again, it's called the Mr. BS Show. Thank you guys for having me on this week. And there's one other thing that I'd like to shout out. If you're a follower of this show on Twitter, you've probably seen a lot of podcasts come across your feed that we've sent your way. These are members of a group called Podern Family. And what Podern Family is a group of podcasters who love podcasting and want to help and support other podcasters. So if you're a podcaster, throw the hashtag Podern Family when you promote your show, and the community of Podern Family will retweet it out for you. And in return, all they ask is you do the same. So when someone else has a new show that they're promoting, tweet it out to your audience. And this way we all grow our audiences together. That's the idea behind Podern Family. And if you're not a podcaster, it's an awesome way to find new podcasts that are of your interest. You just go to Twitter, search up the hashtag Podern Family, and you'll see the variety, huge variety of so many different podcasts out there. One is going to be to your liking.
Basically, let's support our small podcasters.
Yes.
Can I do one last shout out?
Please do.
So speaking of my coworker who I had lunch with the other day, she's headed to Las Vegas next weekend, and she is participating in the Sin City Shootout. I looked on the website, and apparently this has grown to become the world's largest LGBT sports event.
Oh, cool.
So she did do the golf competition a couple years ago, and she won. Mm-hmm. This year, she's going to be going with her softball team. So just want to throw out a shout out to wish her softball team much luck, and I hope they bring home the trophy.
Oh, good luck to you. Oh, that's awesome.
Well, not to me, to her, but yeah, thanks.
Oh, I was speaking to her. I know I'm looking at you, but I was speaking to her. Good luck. Have a good time this weekend?
Next weekend.
Have a good time next weekend. What do you say to athletes? You don't say break a leg. Bring home the trophy?
God, bring home the
Win
bacon.
It all?
Yeah, I don't know.
Victory?
Go team. Go sports go. Sports go sports.
Whatever it is that sports people do that.
And I guess it depends on the sport, because I noticed they have like arm wrestling competition, darts competition.
Darts? How's that a
bridge?
Sport? Bridge?
Bridge.
I could play that sport.
So there's some fun sports being... I can't even imagine if you can go watch some of these. It sounds pretty interesting.
Well, we may have to take a trip out to Vegas to support your coworker. Yes, I think that's the plan. We need to support... I'm getting way behind this now. We need to go support your coworker. Therefore, next weekend, we need to go to Vegas.
If we win the lottery, we can make that happen.
Then it's a done deal. This week in our Faces segment, we're going on an off-strip adventure. Adventure being the operative word. You already know that Vegas is known for gambling, great food, good shopping. Here's something you might not know. Vegas is the home to one of the coolest experiences that I've heard of in a very long time. I'll let our guest describe the full experience, but a quick rundown is you get to hunt zombies with airsoft pellet guns through a 77,000 square foot cityscape that includes 13 houses. So imagine the zombie apocalypse, and it's up to you and your team to save the world. You get trained by and are led through this experience by former and active military badasses, men and women who were Delta Force, Green Berets, Navy SEALs, and other special forces. Our guest has had an extensive military background, serving 2 back-to-back tours in Afghanistan, and has earned a Bronze Star for her frontline service. Jax, welcome to the show, and thank you for your service.
Well, thank you, Chris. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, and also to let the listener know at home, Aaron is joining us.
I'm here as well. I'm Aaron.
So I guess the first question that I would have for you is, how long does it take to become a badass? And is that something you're born with?
I was just going to say, I was born pissing gold and awesomeness. No. But honestly, I work with some amazing individuals that are the cream of the crop, that are heroes. And I just wanted to clarify, I am not a former Green Beret or a Ranger or anything of the kind. Now, I did work with them. I was on a CST. It was a cultural support team. It was an all-female team. We went through a mini selection process to be selected to work with the Special Forces or the Rangers. Then I was very fortunate. I made the team, and then I was deployed with them, like you said, for 2 consecutive deployments. And then I came back as their liaison for another additional 8 months. Basically 2.5 years I got to spend with the Special Forces working as their female enabler.
Yeah, and that back-to-back service, that was 15 months you were out in Afghanistan.
It was
right?
15 months, no break, nothing. I had an opportunity. I was going to go to Germany for 2 weeks, actually, like a little R&R.
Yeah.
And I turned it down because we had a big operation coming up and I didn't want to miss it. Like you create that bond with your team. And I said no, and everybody thought I was crazy, but I'd rather just stay in country and keep kicking down doors.
Because everybody else said, go. What's wrong with you? Go.
Yeah, they were like, you're really not going to take your leave? And I'm like, no, I'm just going to stay in country.
Wow.
Yeah. They actually had to pull me out 2 months early, sort of kicking and screaming, because they wanted me to be part of the SOF conference in Savannah, Georgia. And so they pulled me out 2 months early to bring me down there so I could be on a panel so I could talk about village stability operations. Okay. So they knew my expertise at that time was more important coming back to the States for the deploying elements. So they pulled me back.
Many different aspects of service.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have an incredible story. A lot of it that I heard on the Chips and Salsa podcast. So a lot of it was covered there. What I'm going to do is say, go listen to that show.
Yes.
Because you guys had a good time and you guys cover a lot of ground there. So I'm going to provide a link in the show notes to the Chips and Salsa podcast. When we're done here, please go listen to that show to get a lot more in-depth about Jax's service. We're kind of limited on time here, so I'm going to try to hit all the bullet points that I really wanted to cover. How did you come to here, to Adventure Combat Ops?
That is an outstanding question, Chris. Okay, so kind of to rewind to roughly October 2014, I get a call from my commander who I was downrange with doing the direct action missions. I was with him for 7 months, so he actually got to see how I could shoot, move, and communicate. Amazing, man. He gave me a call, and he said, hey, I have a great opportunity for you. It's killing zombies and saving the world. And I texted him back, and I went, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. So he was like, just call me when you get out of class. I was actually at my warrant officer school, so I gave him a call. I'm like, okay, Chris, what's going on? So and his name's Chris. And he said, this is the opportunity. You can go to Vegas and you could be an operative team leader and you're actually going to be killing zombies. And it's this apocalyptic thing. And it's a combat simulation with airsoft, and Travis Cross owns the company, and he just starts going into detail. I didn't actually believe him. So that's when I kind of went through the interview process and I met Travis, did some research about the company. And then Travis actually interviewed me in about November timeframe. So this has been an ongoing process. So November timeframe, we did a Skype interview. Again, I'm still at Fort Sill. I'm active duty at a school. And I did the interview, and then I flew out for literally 36 hours for SHOT Show of last year. And I think that's January of this year. Flew out 36 hours, kind of did a face-to-face interview with Travis and the rest of the crew and Will and stuff like that. And I fell in love. I fell in love with this place, the idea, the vision, Travis, and flew right back to Oklahoma. I knew this is where I wanted to be, and I moved out here first part of May. And I'm an operative team leader. That's my secondary, but I'm primary the event manager.
The idea of this place is incredible, and we've touched on it a little bit. What do you do as an operative team leader? Because I really want people to get a good feel for what goes on here, because this place is awesome.
It is really awesome. Okay, so the operative team leaders, what we do is once the participants come in, because your experience starts the moment you walk in these doors. Once you go into our JOC, or Joint Operational Center, inside the training camp, you receive your in brief, and the operative team leaders, OTLs, they come in and we give you a little piece of background about who we are. It's very, very brief, and we kind of make it very jovial and fun, but we tell you kind of who you're going to be working with. Then at that time, it's our responsibility to take you through the training camp, teach you your weapons qualification, get you familiar with your airsoft weapon, take you through close quarter combat, just brief understanding of how to clear a room, your breach training of how to kick down doors, because we actually have breach kits in the actual venue. So it has a sledgehammer, a crowbar, pliers, all of this. Yeah, and you can actually carry it. I wouldn't recommend it, but some people do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's like a 35-pound kit. So they can carry that, which I try to get some people to do it. And you can carry it around, you use the sledgehammer to get in, kick down the doors during the apocalypse. And then we take you through medical training and CAS, close ear support, calling in close ear support. So these are all our classes that we lead you through. All the while, you have to think you're doing this with real Green Berets, Special Forces, and airborne rangers that have been there, that have done it. And it's an amazing experience.
And all of this stuff that you just described is even before you start killing zombies. This is the training that you go through. And I have to correct one thing. You said your adventure starts as soon as you walk through the door. The adventure starts when the vehicle picks you up at the hotel, because that's a ride.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
I was just walking down the strip a few weeks back, and I just hear this, ah! And I turn and look over at the strip, and there goes the Adventure Combat Ops vehicle down the road, just people hanging out of it, screaming, just metal blurring out of the speakers, and I just turned on and went, yeah!
I love you guys. Yes, that's what we love.
Yeah.
We have the shuttle service for our operative and our commando packages. So we will pick you up at one of our 4 locations. And you're absolutely right. It's a 25,000-pound vehicle, military vehicle, pimped out, zombified, as you see. Blood is splattered all over the vehicle. There's cages on it. You get in, though, it's flat screen TV, dim lighting. There's a skull in the back, cushy seating. It's luxurious, but you get in there and you have these zombie apocalyptic videos that are playing that while they're bringing you into the venue. So you're absolutely right. The moment we pick you up, your experience starts. Yeah. And then we take you back in that same vehicle. So
to kind of help paint that picture, if you could imagine something that came from the Road Warrior, that's what picks you up.
Yes.
And brings you over to this facility, the 77,000 square foot facility, where you go through the training. And now you're actually in,
mad, crazy chaos. So what happens, Chris, is when you're in the middle of this training, some things happen and transpire. Of course, I'm not going to tell you or anybody listening because it'll ruin the experience. But there's some, basically, SHIT hits the fan.
Right.
And you're like, crud, what's getting ready to happen? And then boom, the apocalypse starts, and sirens start, things go crazy. And at that moment, you are with your team, your operative team leaders. You know who you're with because you've been working with them the last 45 minutes in the training camp. You are locked in and you are moving as an element into the actual apocalypse, which you don't know where it's at this moment. You don't see it, nothing. It's in the cover of darkness. We have over $200,000 worth of sound equipment in that facility. So you've got smoke machines, laser machines, again, all in darkness, and you're going in there and you're clearing these compounds, calling in air support, fully furnished compounds. So they're just not empty houses. You're doing all of this, trying to save the world while we've got parkour zombies, World War Z zombies, and then slow mover zombies. And they do regenerate. So even when you shoot them, they do come back to life.
What are you shooting them with?
Airsoft, so little plastic BBs. So they do sting a little bit, but they're fully covered.
Right. And there is one question that I did want to ask about the zombies. Who signs up to get shot?
Right?
Who does that? Seriously, I'm asking. Who are these people? I'm curious. Is this something that paid actors are actually walking around in zombie masks with padding so they don't get hurt, or how does it work?
Yeah, they kit up is what we call it. I mean, they get all padded up and everything. And we've actually had a participant, Mark, over at Strip Burger, has not only gone through this experience about 4 times, but he's actually been a zombie because he's padded up and he's gone in there. And if you don't pad up correctly, you're going to get a little bit of sting going on. But these guys have a great time. They're zombified. They've got a zombie mask on that covers their eyes and their mouth and everything. And then they have hoodies and they pad up. Pad up. And then they know because they've been here. Most of these zombies are college age kids between, we've got 18 to about 25 is the average. We've got a couple of older ones, but they love it. They absolutely love what they do. And they've been here since July 2nd when we opened our doors.
That's so cool because basically what I'm getting at, that we're talking about live actors that you're shooting at. We're not talking about cardboard cutouts that pop up and you have to take a couple shots. No. This is the real deal. These are live actors that you're shooting at. So that's so cool.
It makes it a different experience each time. That's one of the things I was wondering. After you do this experience, after all the things go wrong on your mission, is it going to be a different experience the next time you do it?
Yes, it will be. Every single time we've had a participant go through or a guest go through, it is different every time because you don't know where you're going to be in the stack. Are you going to be kicking down the door? Are you going to be the second or the third guy in? And if that's the case, you're going to be seeing a different part of the house. You might, if you're the first person in that house, last time you were in the compound, you might have been the last person in. So this time you're going in, you're clearing all the rooms instead of just maybe one or two of the rooms. It's always a different experience. We've had some scenarios where we've had hostage rescues. So you've had to go in there and we've actually captured hostages and brought them out, exfil them. So we kind of tweak our shows according to the guests. If we have a bachelor party, it can get a little wild and crazy in there. Yes.
You must go through a lot of doors.
Oh, actually, we have yes and no. We've worked it where there's a padding, and so not too many of the doors get broken down too bad.
So now they're breakaway doors as opposed to having to. Okay.
Yep.
Which is interesting that you did call it a show because that is essentially what it is. It's a theatrical performance that you participate in with weapons. Yeah.
You are the show here. You come in, you don't just sit there and watch the show. You get to actually participate.
That's so cool.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's surreal. Like there's days that I wake up and Nick and I will do this all the time. It's so funny. We just did it last week and we looked at each other and we're like, can we believe this is our job? And I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you're going to have good days and bad days, but you have more good days than anything. In anything you do, you're going to have good days and bad days. But everybody that works here loves it.
It's an adrenaline rush, because you go through the adventure, that it's fake. But when you have somebody coming at you, your animal instinct just takes over and you react as if somebody's really coming at you. And so you might panic. You might, shoot the wrong person.
Right.
Has that happened? Have you guys?
We've had friendly fire. Yeah, accidentally, because they'll get all up in the action. Our combat camera, Dora Lynn, she makes sure to yell really loud, friendly, because she'll be coming in, even though she has a flashlight on her. People are in the mode and pop. They'll shoot her. So, and it's funny that you say that because I actually had a gal last week go through and she told me straight up, she was just like, I could just tell by her demeanor. She didn't really want to be here, but she was here. So I walk up and I start talking to her and she's like, I'm not into weapons. I'm not into zombies. I hate haunted houses. And I was like, well, just go in open-minded. She came out and she had a blast. And she even said during it, she's like, I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. My operative team leader, Wombat, actually looked at her and he went, think about it this way. If you had to defend your family, what would you do? And she said it hit home. And then it became more than just, I'm just going out and killing zombies. Like, she took it really serious. She got in there and she saw a different part of her. She started kicking down the door. She started leading the crew in and she got out and she's like, this is awesome. This is amazing. This is for everybody. So it's just really interesting how it impacts everybody differently.
How often does that happen where someone discovers something within themselves that they didn't know was there?
Every single day and every single show. That's what makes it so rewarding. When they come out of here and they have a smile on their face, and especially I wouldn't say a best way of saying it is non-believers or people that are just like, oh, so, and you can see they just kind of got drug into it. They're the ones that come out with the biggest smiles going, wow, that's not what I expected. That, I feel so confident now. I feel like I could go out and save the world. And I'm like, okay, slow down. All right. Those were your songs. You can just see it on their faces. Yeah.
I'm sure after I do it, I'll learn how weak I actually am.
So part of the show, like I was describing to you before, the show is Faces and Aces. We want to get to know you a little bit more. One of the people who live here in the city. So you work here. It's a rush every time you go through. There's a yin and a yang to life. Where do you go to chill? What's your come down? Where's your relaxation?
That is so funny. The gym. I work out probably twice a day. I usually get in the gym before, and then I hit the gym usually middle of the day for lunch. And that is honestly my shutdown. I try not to even answer my phone during that unless it's the boss, Travis. And I usually will answer the phone. But that's my quiet time is the gym. And I also run Urban Combat Fitness here. So I do open gyms on Saturday at 9 in the morning. Just a few doors down, we have a CrossFit gym set up that I run, and I bring people in for absolutely free, and I train them. And then during the week, I train clients. But 9 in the morning, Saturday, I have a small group of people that have slowly started coming in, Vegas locals, and we just train and we just have a good time.
Could someone from out of town come in and ask?
Absolutely. Free. Come on.
Okay, then I'm going to need your information for the end of the show, because that's one of the things that I found very interesting, because this is just, lights, lasers, explosions, smoke machines, and then you got to go somewhere to chill. where would that be in a city of Las Vegas? Where do you go to chill? You know?
Yeah, just stay off the strip. We have a couple of local spots that we go to. Strip Burger. We'll go as a team to Strip Burger, and we love Mark and Chris there. Oh my gosh! So we go there all the time. Love the crew. We've had them in multiple times. The crew, and we just go and we'll have some cocktails and sit and have some amazing burgers. By the way, #Strip Burger.
Yeah,
they're awesome.
Yeah.
So that is a good chill spot. But yeah, just weekends, honestly. This is the thing, Chris. When you love what you do so much and you have a passion and you see the vision, you don't want to stop working. You want to just keep going. And it's like you're on red line all the time because you want to see this succeed so bad that even on our days off, we're in here, we're working, we're doing stuff because you just see the vision, you see the impact.
Yeah, that's one of the secrets to life.
Yeah,
it really is. Love what you do.
It is.
Do you have any funny stories about people going through the adventure ops? I know you shared the one before where she wasn't that into it. Is there anything else that you've seen or experienced?
Well, there was one night where we had a show come through, and I actually ran them through, and Wombat assisted me. And I said, you know what? We're just going to make this wild and crazy. So I had a hostage rescue set up on the RV. We actually have a full-size RV out there that you can search. So I had a hostage rescue set up on the top of the RV. Then I had another individual down on the ground that we were going to do he was going to be an injured civilian down on the ground screaming for help. So we're going through this, and a couple of different things happened during that apocalypse. I'm trying to get all my participants to go through the compound. I keep getting shot in the legs repeatedly. I just keep getting shot in the legs, like by airsoft. And I'm like, what is going on? Well, I come to find out I had a sniper out there. So while I'm trying to move people through, I have a sniper somewhere shooting me continuously. So, yeah, so you got this picture. I'm getting shot at. While I'm trying to get participants. I'm on the radio. The guy's up top giggling, going, like, you got a sniper in your compound. I don't know where he is.
Yeah.
I've got participants going all over the place. It's a fun time. And then I'm like, oh, I hear a civilian screaming. So I'm like, oh, I got to get the participants over there. We got to go pick up the civilian.
Yeah.
He's laying on the ground. He's all bloody. He's an actor. I'm like, all right, you guys need to get him. We need to get him into this compound. They go down to grab him, but your rifles are slung around you, and they have like a single point sling, basically. So you can let go of your rifle. It's still going to stay on your body. Mm-hmm. The thing is, if you let go and you lean down, the rifle's going to kind of go down with you. Yeah. Okay, so they go down to pick up the guy, and they smack him so hard in the head with the rifle. I thought he busted this guy, and he's talking German. It's hilarious. The participants don't know what to do with him. I'm trying to get him to pick him up. They start to pick him up. They drop him. Again, the apocalypse is going on. Mad chaos. Zombies are coming at us. I'm getting shot by a sniper. I'm trying not to take over. I'm like, this is becoming mad chaos right now. They don't know what's going on. They think this is completely normal. They're like, I mean, it was so intense that by the time I got him into the compound, I looked at one of the dudes. He looked at me and he's just sweating, just buckets. He looked at me and went, oh, this is intense. And I'm even like, yeah, it is. Like, holy smokes.
Can you call timeout?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Because even I was like, this is getting way out of control, but it was fun. It's a controlled chaos is what we call it. Full submersion, controlled chaos. But yeah, we've had things like that where the participants don't actually know what's going on, but we make it completely crazy, and they get completely out of their elements. They start fizzling. But
if someone freaks out, can they call timeout? Like, how does
absolutely
it go? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. We watch. We're very, very good at knowing that. There's been a couple of times where we've had in the middle of the summer. You can imagine how hot it gets in here, and we've swamp coolers and stuff. But you think these guys come in drinking all night, and we had a couple of dehydrated people that didn't make the entire apocalypse. They saved the world halfway, and we had to bring them out and come in here, and they were fine with that. They're like, no, I'm good. Just get some water. Yeah. We're just going to sit here and let my wife finish. She can save the world. I drank too much last night. Yes.
Honey, go save the world. I'm going to sit over here.
Yep.
I'm going to go be a zombie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very classy in here, though. It's like very apocalypse themed, but still classy. There's comfortable chairs, and I wouldn't mind sitting in here halfway through the apocalypse.
Right? Yeah, this is actually our 1940s, 50s movie theater, apocalyptic movie theater. And eventually we'll have that room over there as our battle lounge that we have kind of isolated off to the side. That'll have a flat screen set up, and you can actually come in, and anybody that doesn't want to participate, that's fine. We've got cameras. They're all set up. They just have to be wired in. You can actually watch the apocalypse from in there. kind of have it nice and relaxed. Because some people don't want to do it, and they just want to sit in their hubbies and go shopping for 2 hours.
So the Apocalypse Channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Yeah,
maybe we can get Oprah to sign up on that.
Do people get to actually take video home with them if they want? Or
we have a photographer, combat camera, and we don't do video right now. We do all still photos, but she is amazing. And she runs around the venue. She's jumping through windows and following you guys the entire time through the experience.
Wow.
Getting shot, everything.
I mean, I was sold when I just first read the first article about this place. And so I really want people who are listening to this podcast, well, I mean, it's not even just bachelor parties. It seems like a good, say, office
corporate
morale
parties
building.
All the time. Yeah, Chris, we do them all the time, and we can do catering. We did one event where we catered actually out in the venue, so it was apocalyptic. After they saved the world, we had catered food, zombies kind of milling around. We can do all kinds of stuff in here. If you don't want to shoot zombies, you want to shoot corporate people, give us suits, we'll put ties on them. Shoot away. We also have the capability of doing force on force, so you guys can get in here, shoot each other up, have competitions, capture the flag, basically, keep score. Yeah,
we're super cool.
All kinds of stuff we can do. Yep, and we have done it.
Wow, and I don't want to also, because I don't want to come off as a shill for the company. This is it's called Faces and Aces. This is kind of a unique interview where this is both face and ace, because the ace part is we talk about the things in Vegas that we like. That's just usually us sitting around a table talking about things we like. This is both face and ace, because this place is awesome. And I want to make it very clear, we're not getting paid to sit here and talk about this. You actually offered to take us through, which we denied.
Yes, you did.
Perhaps foolishly, because I want to pay to go through this, because
appreciate that.
It's worth it. And well, how much does the experience cost? So I know there's a couple different packages they can get.
There are. We're actually running a holiday special right now, so you're fortunate on that. Our packages range between $119 to $250 with the holiday special. Locals get 25% off, so that helps out a lot. And then we also have fire and police, military discount, and that's an additional 10% off. So depending on the packages, it's just depending on the range. And the packages differ in the equipment type. So like I was saying, you've got the operator and the commando are top of our line packages, the best of the best. They come with, the operator comes with the photo package. It also comes with a patch. Photo package actually is the shape of a dog tag. It's a USB. It comes with over 200 photos. You also get shuttle service with both of those packages. Then you get multicam uniforms to wear during the event, an upgraded chest rig, and then your actual airsoft rifle has a PEC system on the front, so it comes with a flashlight and a laser system. So when you're in there in the darkness, when you're freaking out, all you have to do is green laser, zombie, shoot him, go for it. So it makes it a lot easier. And then you'll get a team radio and then upgraded helmet and goggles, and then from there it just goes down to civilian clothes with different kit setup and things like that. So it's just depending on the experience itself will not change. It just depends on the type of equipment you want to go through it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And can you run out of ammo during the show?
Yes, you can, depending on how crazy and wild you get. Yes. And you'll get 2 magazines. Yeah. But if you do run out, the great thing is either my OTLs will have extra mags on them, or we have weapon caches and we have ammo caches out there. Because again, it's a video game brought to life. So you can actually find the caches, get them, and then resupply yourself.
That's actually a really good way to describe it. A video game brought to life.
Yes, it is. It's like Call of Duty brought to life.
There was a Channel 5 video that I saw, and I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about helping wounded vets as part of your mission here. Can you talk a little bit about that?
When we first opened ACO, a lot of people were asking, how is this going to be for people with PTSD issues and things like that? And what we've come to find out is it's actually really therapeutic for them, because we actually had the wounded warrior athletes, I believe. They just recently changed their name to Warrior in the Rough, but they went through, and as you saw on Fox 5, that one soldier that had gone through even said, this was really therapeutic for him because it's a controlled chaos, like I've said before, and it is theatrical. So, and myself included, when you're out and about and you hear a gunshot or fireworks or something, you're not prepared for it, it does bring back a lot of PTSD. And certain things bring back PTSD and it triggers it. Here, we have the smell. We have a room that smells like rotting flesh. We have the smells. We have the sounds. We have certain things that are going to trigger it, but it is a controlled chaos. Another thing is you are next to somebody that has been downrange, that has been in the thick, that understands where you come from. And that, for me personally, that helps me, because I'm not just with any just other civilian out there. I'm with somebody that's been there and done it. So when those memories start to click back in our minds, we're like, wait a minute, we're safe. We're good. This is all fake. And it allows us to be able to work through it.
Because there's stuff about like Vegas that I'd love to talk to you about. Like how, like, do you like the city? Where do you take people when you have friends coming to town? Where do you take them? I mean, you talked about Strip Burger. Where else are you taking people in this city? That
is so funny. Honestly, I haven't got out and done a whole heck of a lot. And I think it's because when I first got here, it was really a culture shock, because I had just gotten out of a military school. I immediately packed up as much as I could into a truck and I moved out here. I left all my friends, everything behind, my house, all of that. And it was adjustment for me. And now I'm starting to meet people and do stuff. So when I have friends come here, I try to avoid the Strip as much as possible.
Yeah.
But now that things are starting not so much to slow down, I'm just figuring out how to do the whole event manager thing, because it's tough coming out of active duty into a civilian job. And I'll tell you what, if you've ever met Travis, he has very, very, very high standards, and I love it. And I've learned a lot about myself being at ACO. But every time I start to reach that standard, that bar is raised. And there was a couple months I felt like I was chasing my tail. That's all I was doing. It's just chasing my tail, just trying to make sure this place was running to that standard, and I didn't have any time but to sleep, because you put everything into it. So I haven't really been out a whole lot, but I hear there's a lot of great places. I would recommend that anybody that gets out here, though, I did the Valley of Fire within the first month of being here, and it is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, what is Valley of Fire?
So Valley of Fire is to the north, about 45 minutes away, and it literally, you enter the park. And when you go over this hill, everything's just like a tan color. But when you go over this hill, there's all these rocks. And they literally, you can see a line where it turns from that tannish color to a blood red. And it is suddenly red. And it's called the Valley of Fire because it looks like it's burning. It is amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I did a hike out there one time, and it was mind-blowing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And I heard Red Rocks is to die for, too. I need to get up that way as well, because Colorado, that's where I came from, and that's all I love to do is just hike and ski and board and be out in nature.
And I got to look that up now.
Valley of Fire.
That sounds really cool.
Check out the pictures alone.
Yeah, I've been out to Red Rock a couple times, which is just beautiful out there. I mean, that sounds almost like a mini Grand Canyon is what you described.
It is.
Oh, that's cool.
But Vegas as a whole, like the Strip, I love all of the culture. My favorite place, and I want to move down there, is downtown. I love Fremont. I love the people. Yeah, boom. I love it. I absolutely love everybody down there. Yeah. And the Strip's awesome, too. It's just less touristy over in Fremont.
Yeah. Do you have a good tip for people who are coming to this city that you would like to share with them? A good piece of advice, good solid piece of advice.
I would say figure out if you're going to be here for a couple of days, 3 days, go and just see the culture. That's the thing. Figure out a couple of shows. Of course, you're going to drink, hydrate. See your 2 big shows, but then really just put on a pair of comfortable shoes and just walk around and just enjoy it, because so many people stay in one hotel, or they, just do shows back to back to back to back, or they just get hammered. Find a balance, but if it's Fremont, go walk Fremont. It is absolutely amazing. The entertainers are awesome out there, and just feel the culture. Go see the container park. Fremont's amazing. There's so much culture down there and everything. So I think a lot of people miss the culture in Vegas. They get there, they do the gambling thing. Just have a few hours. Go walk. Go check out the nooks and crannies out here.
Yeah, and I'll even add, I think downtown is where the young people are hanging out. You got the hipper casinos, the D and whatnot, but it's just full of life.
Yeah, it is.
As opposed to, and I really hate to say this because I'm a big fan of Vegas, the Strip, there's a weird, not to use this, but there's a weird zombie-esque feel to the Strip right now, because when you go to downtown, it's just popping.
It is.
Yeah.
Everybody just, they want to be, even the entertainers are just completely different than the Strip, and they want to be there and they want to have fun. I've actually gone out with these guys on marketing runs. I have we call it kid up. I mean, I've put my kid on, I put my uniform on, I had zombies with me, and I walked the actual Vegas Boulevard Strip, and the just the communication interaction with the people out there was just completely different than when I went to Fremont. We went to Fremont either that day or the next day. Mm-hmm. Everybody was awesome, welcoming to us. They were, what do you guys do? What are these zombies? They wanted to see what was going on. So I say, check out Fremont.
Yeah.
You know, get to know the culture down there. That's more of the Vegas feel, the old school, as you were saying, Vegas feel than what the Vegas Strip is.
Yeah.
It's just everybody's just kind of zombified. That's probably the best way of putting it.
That is a good solid tip. Would you be willing, like when we bring his wife back to hop on again? Like, I think what would be fun if we could do is do a pre and then post, you know, like us talking about going in, and then we come out and we talk about it again.
Yeah,
so.
Game.
Cool.
Totally.
Cool.
Heck yeah.
Will you take us through?
Yes, I will. If you guys request me, absolutely, I'll kid up.
That's awesome. Okay.
Done and done.
Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for hanging out with
us.
us.
Thanks for this opportunity. It was awesome.
You know, this is an interview that I've been like jonesing for since we started this podcast. Like, it was one of the first places that I wanted to talk about because it's, again, I'm such a big fan. And after we turn off the mics, I want to apply for a job. Before we get into the Aces part of the show, I do want to bring up that the interview that we did with Jax was recorded way back in November 2015. And so when she talks about pricing, she was talking about the holiday pricing for the experience. For current pricing, take a look at their website at adventurecombatops.com. And if you'd like to find out more about Jax's Saturday fitness group, Urban Combat Fitness, you can find her over on Twitter at Scotty Jax. That's SCOTTIEJAX. Okay, next up in the Aces segment, we have a review of Schiaffinis. Before we get into the Aces part of the show, I do want to bring up that the interview that we did with Jax was recorded way back in November 2015. And so when she talks about pricing, she was talking about the holiday pricing for the experience. For current pricing, take a look at their website at adventurecombatops.com. And if you'd like to find out more about Jax's Saturday fitness group, Urban Combat Fitness, you can find her over on Twitter at Scotty Jax. That's SCOTTIEJAX. This week in the Aces segment, we're going to talk a little bit about Schiaffinis over at the Downtown Container Park. This is a hot dog restaurant that I fell in love with. A friend of mine, James, suggested that I go check them out one day when I just had maybe about 15, 20 minutes between meetings and I needed a quick bite. This place is awesome. It's really good. I've been talking up to you, Aaron, for a while now, and we finally had it together. What did you think?
It was very good, and they use my kind of hot dogs.
Oh,
so
the Hebrew
I like
National.
those. Yeah, and it's not a religious thing. I just like those hot dogs.
Oh, they're good dogs.
Yeah, they're good dogs.
Which is a good point because people get really weird about what kind of hot dogs they have. Some people like the skinny dogs that have the snap when you bite into them.
I don't even know what you mean when you say that. You've said that multiple times. The snap when you bite into
That's
it.
when you boil a hot dog and the skin gets all tight. And so when you bite into it, the skin snaps as opposed to hot dogs that are grilled. Oh, okay. Now that I've explained it to you. So the kind of hot dog you can expect there is a grilled Hebrew National hot dog. But you don't even have to get a beef hot dog. You can get a turkey frank. They also offer vegan franks.
Yeah, and as good as those sound, if you're one of those vegans, you're definitely going to like that.
Because of the toppings. And
yeah.
They have so many, they have their own versions of hot dogs, from the bacon wrapped El Mexicano to the crunchy dog, which is covered in bacon bits and potato chips. Man, just like really good stuff. And you could customize them too, which is I think what you did.
Yeah, I'm a very custom guy. I like to say, take this off, add this.
Exactly, yeah.
And it was good. I'll be adding the bacon bits and chips, potato chips, to my future hot dogs that I make at home.
Oh, and the other cool thing that I liked about it, the price. Just the bottom basic hot dog with a few toppings goes for $5.99. I think the top hot dog they have is maybe $8.99, and it has like, chipotle sauce and seaweed, and it's, really exotic. But you don't have to get all that stuff. You could just get a bit, and it's big enough to just one will do you. Yeah.
They were very big dogs.
Las Vegas is a city where it's very easy to spend $20 on a single meal, and you could get away with spending $10 on a great hot dog and a Coke, and it's a good lunch. It's a good, solid, full lunch. So that's my ace for this week. I'm a big fan of Schaffini's. We'll provide a link in the show notes, and go check them out your next trip out to Vegas. And that's going to do it for episode 13 of Faces and Aces Las Vegas. Please join us next time, where we're going to have a special Vegas Stories episode. We reached out to some of our fellow podcasters and asked them if they have any fun Vegas stories they would like to share. We'll bring you some of those stories next episode. Thank you to Jax for coming on the show, and thank you to Adventure Combat Ops for letting us record our episode at your facility. The next time you're in Vegas, go check them out for an awesome adventure. One final note, since we are releasing this on Sunday, January 10th, there was no Powerball winner. The current jackpot has grown from $800 million to $1.3 billion. Stay tuned. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can email us at contact@facesandaceslv.com. You can find us on social media over at Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at facesandaceslv. And our voicemail number is 702-381-3657. Thank you to Jenny for co-hosting with me, and thank you for listening. And remember, what happens in Vegas ends up on this podcast.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.
Come on, people, what the hell? It's gotta be the brain. Y'all know nothing?
Go.